Well, ladies and gentlemen, so today we are embarking on a unique journey in astrology, and this journey entails of us facing our fears. Because today's video is about Saturn and fear and how success is actually related to Saturn and fear. So first of all, we're going to discuss as to why is Saturn fear, okay? What is Saturn does that brings fear into us? First of all, as you know, Saturn is a natural malefic planet, meaning that it has very tamasic qualities to it. And the reason why it is known as a natural malefic planet is because Saturn shows us reality. It's that simple. Saturn, look, here's the thing about Saturn. Jupiter says, I'm from the Devloka, okay? He says, I'm from the Loka that is 3 billion light years above Earth. Venus says, I'm from Pleiades. I'm from this magnificent place of species that are all about spirituality, it's all about love, it's all about, just finding luxury in each other and relationships. So you have all these planets who are compartmentalized in their own universe. Like Mars says, hey, welcome to the war zone. I don't care if you're in this dimension, that dimension, here, there. Let's compete and let's go out there and win a war. So Saturn says, I am malefic because I'm not about war. I'm about reality. I'm not going to let you go anywhere beyond the solar system. I want you to be here on this earth, and I want you to see what exactly this universe has created on earth. That's why Saturn is fear, because Saturn shows you reality. Saturn shows you your boundaries. He says you are limited on what you can do. You can program, you can be the best programmer in the world, but you cannot be Michael Jordan. I'm sorry. But he's going to tell Michael Jordan, look, Michael, I know you can dunk from the free throw line, and I'll give you 6 championships in NBA, but you will not be the Bill Gates that you think you can be. You cannot code a single line of programming. So everybody has their restriction. Now, the common fear, why is it that people have such fear of Saturn? Is because anytime Saturn involvements comes in your birth chart, whether it's Saturn mahadasha, Saturn antradasha, Saturn paryantradasha, Saturn shulavargya dasha, or you can even say Saturn charadasha, sadesati, dhaya, Saturn return. There's so many scenarios that everybody can go through and does go through regarding Saturn. And in that time period, whenever Saturn comes, what it shows you is that, hey, welcome to the real world, Sonny. He's like, I'm going to give you responsibilities. I am going to give you hardship, and I'm going to show you exactly what this plane is all about. You're going to face your fear. You're going to see all the thugs in the street. It's not all about comfiness in your home. You're going to go out there, probably get mugged. That's what this earth is about. So all Saturn is doing that, look, I don't care what you do. This is your boundaries, this planet, this reality. Saturn does not care about you going to a different dimension. He does not care to release you from your karmic backlog. He does not care to give you moksha. Saturn says, my job is to show you what's on this planet, and that's it. Whether it's good or bad, I'm going to show it to you. And that's what people forget, that Saturn is simply showing you what's on this planet. He's here for the social reform. He is here for you to see what reality is and to help the ones who need to face the better reality in this life. This is why Saturn is all about handicapped people, poor people, the masses who kind of vote for the politician. Who votes for the politician in any country? People who are suffering, who are poor, who they listen to the 2-minute speech and they're like, yes, he's going to help us. He's going to be our guiding light and savior. And this is what Saturn is about. And Saturn just pretty much shows you that, look, you are in a place where you're made of flesh, body that is going to decay slowly. You're going to see your loved ones die. You're going to feel hungry at one point. You're going to get sick at one point. You'll be so, feeling much chronic pain that you won't be able to walk. Because guess what? I'm here to show you that you're not a divine being. You're actually here in a flesh and body. And that's it. That's what Saturn is. That's where the fear comes into play. Because guess what? We're in this comfy zone, okay? So when Jupiter mahadasha is going for someone, they're in this comfy zone, but then suddenly Saturn comes. They're facing responsibility. They're facing, having to pay bills, having to pay mortgage. And now they gotta do their real work, okay? That's what Saturn is. Let's say you're enjoying your life, as one of the heir to the throne in Saudi Arabia. You're one of the royal family members. Your Sadhitati comes, you get into some stupid trouble that they take you out of their will. You are left on the streets, and suddenly from enjoying a life on the yacht just last week, you're suddenly now homeless and you're thinking, what the hell just happened? That's what Saturn is. But now, and especially Saturn is what? Saturn is discipline. Saturn is putting a check on you. He's like, are you doing what you're supposed to be doing? So Saturn is kind of like this father figure in astrology. Because Saturn is, who disciplines you? The sun disciplines you or Saturn? Saturn. So father, which is originally controlled by the sign of Capricorn, with the 10th house that represents your father, relationship with the father. This is why father disciplines you most of the time. Because the fact Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. Saturn is about discipline and structure. It's your father who spanks you and says, no, if you did this again, I'm going to hang you upside down. You will hear mothers say that, but not as much. It is the father. Sure, if moon is in the 10th house in the sign of Capricorn, your mother will take up the role of the father. And your mother will be like, okay, now I'm gonna teach you discipline. But how does success comes into play? Let's talk about that. So the way you can see success from Saturn, and especially just studying all of these different astrology books and articles and getting all of these journals on astrology, some of the most successful people, mostly successful people, have risen in their Saturn mahadasha, meaning Saturn time period. Most of the US president, there was a study done in Vedic astrology. Over 77% of US president became president in their Saturn mahadasha, Saturn antradasha, or charadasha of a sign that had Saturn in there. And so how is it that these people didn't become fearful and didn't run away? Because remember, there's two kinds of fear. And you need to know which one to fear and which one not to fear. That will differentiate your entire life. And the moment I found this out, I knew I was on the right side of fear. There's a fear. How am I going to pay the bills? When will I get the next job? Will I keep my next job? So that's one fear. Will I get my paycheck next week? Or is my boss going to fire me? Because Saturn represents bosses. Because Saturn is what? Saturn is authority. Your boss puts a structure on you. He puts the law on you. He puts this policy on you that you need to show up on time, you need to leave in time, you need to take your break in time, you need to take your lunch on time. If you don't, I'm going to write you up for the first time. Second time, I'm going to fire you. I've been through this kind of a BS. Okay? Then there's this other fear that I always felt. And that fear was not being successful. That fear was living an average life, struggling day to day. And the fear was not being able to do something which I really want to do in this life. Whatever it is. I could be making boats for a living. I could be making a watch for a living. But my fear was I want to follow what I need to. I cannot be in this side of the world, the clockwork world that needs to wake up at 7 a.m., be on the freeway, go on to an office, click there, and then start working, and everybody's monitoring them. Whatever they do on computer is being monitored. That is Saturn. And the ones who know that, okay, my biggest fear is that I cannot live this average life. I need to be somewhere where I want to be. That's where these people start using the motion of Saturn. What is the motion of Saturn? Work, work, work. Produce. Saturn is a machine. Remember, Saturn is this repetitive motion like a locomotive that just keeps moving, wants to move forward, wants to work for long hours and move forward. And either you can be the locomotive that is pushing your life, or you can be the train boxes that are being pushed by the locomotive. And this is something you have to ask yourself. What side of the fear am I going to face of Saturn? Because everybody who has become successful, a billionaire, a superstar, in their Saturn mahadasha, that exactly what their fear was. They're like, I just cannot do this. I need to do whatever it takes, whether I die doing this. I have made a decision to be successful. I'm going to be successful. And every day when they do not get closer to the goal, the fear comes in. Okay, Saturn is watching me. That guy with a stick is watching me. He's going to put me back in the cubicle and make me work. Or where I can develop my own app because I have so much computer programming skills. I want to open up my own company. My God, let me just work. And this is where success comes into play. Because when you use that fear with the tide of the planets, the frequency of Saturn, instead of going against it, where you're like, okay, find a job, pay the bill, follow instructions, follow all the rules, okay? Saturn will keep, as soon as you get to a finish line, foul, he'll hit you. But if you are this person who's like, I want to be the president of the United States, what do I have to do? Because I know I cannot be down here. I got to go up. Because remember, what is Saturn? Saturn is about rank. Saturn loves to be at the higher rank. This is why sign of Capricorn is about going to the highest of ranks. That's what 10th house is about, rank, recognition. Because Saturn knows the secret. Saturn has the secret. He's like, whatever I'm trying to tell you, there's a very secret lesson behind it. Is that without hard work, you cannot achieve the freedom that you're trying to achieve through me. You want to go build a home on Mars and leave the planet Earth? Okay, let me show you the reality. You're not a scientist, you're not a physician or physicist, you don't even know how to make a simple calculator. And you want to go to Mars and build that? Well, then your fear comes into play. Okay, what do I do? Maybe if I have $1 billion or gazillion dollars, I can do something and hire people and do that. So you see how a person who wants to move to Mars and stay away from Earth will perpetuate this motion within them. Then how do I do this? Well, I'm living in Kali Yuga. I'm living in Maya, where money is God. Money is everything. You can't do anything without money. Everybody needs money to pay bills. I need money to pay bills. So then you have to understand these things. Okay, I'm going to have to make money so I can make billions, so I can hire engineers and scientists who can do this for me and send me to Mars, and so I can never look back and just die on Mars. Which side of fear are you on for Saturn? Are you on his wrong side and just be a follower? Be this goat who's going to keep, grazing the field until it gets slaughtered? Or are you going to be a bull who's independent on the field and everybody fears it? You become the fear. And that's where Saturn gives you exactly what you need. Because people who want success, who attain success, are willing to go the extra mile to achieve that. Yet don't go against the tide. You have to go with the tide of Saturn. You have to live in reality. You have to know your limitations. I love basketball. Obsessed about basketball. I love Michael Jordan. He's the one who got started me in basketball. But do you think I can play in the NBA right now? Especially knowing I have a bad knee. I'm 5'9". No, that's my boundaries. That's my reality. So Saturn said, Stop dreaming about being Michael Jordan and do something the space that I have given you to do. You want to act, act. You love astrology, follow astrology. Create an empire of astrology. Create an empire of film. You become the Michael Jordan of your land. Don't try to replicate what I have given him and not given you. You can't do that. That's where I'm going to come in and sit you down. That's what Saturn reality is. So the biggest message behind Saturn and Fear is this. After reading all of these great material on Saturn, my goodness, I'm just like in this Disneyland of, astrology material that I now get from India and everywhere else. Is that why are you trying to limit yourself? Why? Why are you fearing the fact that how can I pay my bills? How can I get a 9-to-5 job? Or how can I do this? When will I get a promotion? You have to be in a fear. You know the kind of fear you need to be in order for Saturn to help you? How do I make my own time? Because remember, Saturn is time. Saturn represents Kal. It is the karma of your past life along with Rahu. This is why Rahu is a shadow of Saturn. So you want to see how I can create my own time in my own space that Saturn has given me. And that's where your real fear should come into play. That, okay, I don't want to live this life anymore because this is a life I'm scared of. I don't want to be stuck getting a paycheck every week and then relying on paying my mortgage. I don't want to care about a paycheck anymore. How do I do this? That should be the fear in you. Every day you need to do something. You need to work because it's motion. Saturn is blind. Remember, Saturn is just about work, 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 work. This is why manual jobs are represented by Saturn. You dig ditches in the mines all day, every day for 3 years to make that half-a-mile long mine. But the mine gets built through your work. And this is the same thing you need to do. You got to build your own mine. You got to build your own success. You got to be able to put in that manual hours and especially have the fear subconsciously in yourself that if I don't do this, I'm going to end up in an unemployment line. So which side of Saturn are you on? Which side of fear are you on? That's the question you want to ask. And that is Saturn and fear and success through Saturn's fear. Okay? So guys, if you're new to my channel, subscribe below because you're going to get to find more cool information like this. And if you want to know where your astrological placements are for Saturn and all the other planets, for that, check out the links here and check out my astrological books, Astrology, Conjunction, and Aspects of the Speed of Light. Otherwise, we're going to continue on with our 10th Lord series starting Monday. Adios, amigos.